Zaggle Prepaid Ocean Services is in focus. Now, this is on the back of new products that the company has launched, several partnerships that they have done. But to discuss more about this, I'm here joined by Mr. Avinash Godkhindi, who's the MD and CEO at Zaggle. Well, welcome, Avinash, at NDTV Profit. Pleasure to have you. Avinash, recently you have launched a lot of new products. You've done, new partnerships and acquired Green Edge also. Given all this momentum, what do you see as the single biggest growth driver when it comes to Zaggle for the next, maybe 24 months?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. See, the single biggest growth driver actually is the fact that, India or Bharat is in a transformatory phase and we are seeing digitization happening at a breakneck speed, right? So that's the underlying current. And with market leadership coming in for Zaggle in the spend management space, it makes it much more easier for banks and corporate customers, enterprise customers especially, to work with a market leader where they see trust, they see competence, they see predictability in terms of what's the outcomes that we're going to be able to deliver for them. Having said that, you're right. We've done a lot of exciting stuff at the Global FinTech Festival as well. And in the coming days, you'll see the formal launch of our Gift City co-branded prepaid card. You'll also see our co-branded retail credit card with AU Bank getting launched. Both of these, we gave a preview in our ad that we gave welcoming the Honorable Prime Minister. In the Economic Times, we showcased these two upcoming launches. And there are many more in store.
That was precisely my second question, onto the retail cards, the partnership that you've done with the AU Small Finance. Are you looking to launch more retail cards in partnership with other banks as well?
See, we've always maintained that we like to have a multi-bank, multi-network strategy. I think it suits the banks as well because they have different objectives, different segments that they want us to go after, different risk appetite. So this is a symbiotic, relationship. Having said that, our partnership with AU is going to be a very deep one. It's a very broad base because we've not just signed for retail credit cards. We also signed for corporate credit cards or prepaid cards. We're going to work with them to, enter a lot of the corporate customers in the South for AU as a partner. And we are, on the cusp of signing a couple of other, contracts with large banks as well on the retail card front. A lot of the retail card programs would be basically B2B2C. So we have more than 3 million users today already from our 3,500 plus corporate customers, and we'll target them first. And then the overall employee base of these 3,500 plus corporates, is much larger. It's probably a much larger figure by multiples of 5, if not 10. And that is again a base that we can target in conjunction with the banks and the corporate customers themselves.
Right. Avinash, onto the financials, you have upped your guidance in the AGM to 40 to 45% from 45 to 50%. That's clear. But what about margins? Because I believe in the last con call you had said that you're expecting 100 basis points when it comes to margin for the next 3 years. Do you still stand your guidance on that?
Yes. So our thought process is on the growth. We were 35 to 40% at the beginning of the year. We have upped that guidance to 40 to 45% now. This is all standalone, organic. This is not the growth that we'd get from our acquisitions. That would always be an icing on the cake. With regards to margins, last year we had given a guidance of 9 to 10%. This year our guidance is 10 to 11%. We are on track for that. We also expect margins to expand steadily in the coming years. So we hope to get a margin expansion of about 100 basis points every year on year. And of course, some years will be higher, some years might be slightly lower. But the aim is to expand our margins on a very consistent basis in the coming years as well.
Understood. Also, Avinash, you mentioned pursuing 6 acquisition opportunities in the last 6 months. What's the status and timeline when it comes to the remaining 4?
Yeah, so I think we've already done, three. So if you look at it out of the six, three are done. TaxSpanner, Mobileware, which is an investment, not an acquisition, and Green Edge. We are hoping to close out of the remaining three, maybe two by the time we have our board meeting for announcing our quarterly results. That's the target that we are gunning for, right?
Got that point. Also, so what sort of incremental growth you are expecting when it comes to your inorganic acquisitions for FY26? If you could quantify us for that. Also, any more acquisitions in the pipeline?
See, I'll take the second one first. There is definitely one or two more acquisitions that we'll do in the near future. We'll keep you posted. There are, conversations ongoing there. With regards to contribution in FY26, from the acquisitions would be relatively small, given the fact that the acquisitions are just closing, right? And their contribution would be proportionate to the timing as well. But in the coming years, we see tremendous value addition from all our, acquisitions that we are looking at. And some of them, like Mobileware, are performing exceptionally well. Green Edge has been doing exceptionally well. So just the fact that they have, the Zaggle brand backing them makes it much more comfortable for banks in the case of Mobileware and Green Edge to work with them, and in the case of Green Edge, NPCI, in the case of Mobileware, NPCI. So the confidence that the Zaggle brand brings to the banks and networks is enormous. And as soon as they hear that we are, acquiring these companies or making a significant investment, the scale and volume of their business with their partner banks and networks just goes through the roof.
Right. And lastly, Avinash, the company raised 60 crore via warrants, and then you also took an additional 15 crore loan. How these funds will be utilized? If you could give us details for that.
Yes, so the loan is basically we have not taken a loan, we've just taken a board approval for that. And that is because we are expanding our relationship with Axis Bank and other banks. And banks typically want you to have a current account. For that, there's a certain limit that you need to take as per RBI regulations. So that's the purpose. Otherwise, the company is very well capacitized. With regards to the 60 crore warrants, 20 crores of that is subscription to warrants at 567 rupees by the promoter group, right? So that's the confidence that the promoter group and the promoters have in the company. And we believe that's a more accurate reflection of where our stock should be. With regards to the 40 crores, this is a deal that we have done with basically Brand Capital or Bennett and Coleman,
right,
which allows us to go ahead and advertise using the properties that they have. Right. This is subject to the EGM approval that's going to happen on 31st October.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Avinash, for joining this conversation, and always pleasure to have you, and all the best for the business.